bringing to you. Every time we turn live, man, you know it's the truth. Every after show, moving down. This the time to move around. No Gimmicks podcast is going down. Every night, every time in the ring. This is the time for no gimmicks. No, we doing our thing. What's your state of mind? State of mind. Moving down a statement when we take the line. This is exactly wrestling the state design. When you see Stone Cold like me, with the stunner in the world, exactly, man, what we bring. Every night we move like Brock Lesnar, the F5, no gimmicks. We take you to your limit. What's the feeling? When we live in the air, you know we on. That's the time. Guarantee we move. You know how we respond. The state design. The state design when we feel it.
Yo. What is up, people? Welcome back to the No Gimmicks podcast here on the DFPN. And we have a good show for you guys tonight. It's a good time to be back. We got some shit to talk about tonight. First and foremost, I want to send a very, very big shout out to everybody. Those of you who don't know, I had to take a hiatus for a minute, but there were some great people around. Frank D is one of those people. Shout out to you, Frank D. Shout out to Makk, aka your boy, the DFPN family. I want to shout out a couple people in the No Gimmicks podcast fan group. Rob and both Robs, Rob Williams, Rob Gibbons, and Bubba John, who reached out to me. Bubba actually sent me a card. Thank you, my brother. I really appreciate that. Shout out to you. And shout out to everyone who's been kind of like my support system throughout this time. It has been a go of it. I'm still not done because I got to have surgery in September. But for everybody that knew what was going on with me and my family, I thank you guys. I can't thank you guys enough for the love and support that you guys all send me. Like real shit, it means a lot to me. When we make it big, there shall be some payback, if you will, for the love. That's how much it meant to me. But enough of the mushy stuff. We got some things to talk about. To my co-host, the fabulous one, Frankie D. What is up, buddy? Welcome back.
What's up, big man?
I don't know, man. I don't know. But I know this much. It has been a good time for the WWE. And that's what we're here about tonight.
I mean, it's a good time that just keeps on giving and giving and giving. I mean, even the biggest WWE hater cannot say that they are not hot right now.
Absolutely.
The WWE is firing off on all cylinders right now. I mean, we're going to get to it, but you can't deny the momentum. They got more momentum right now than the competition, quote unquote, does going into their biggest show at Wembley Stadium.
That's weird, ain't it? That's weird.
Yeah, that's not like trying to talk, haterize on AEW. I'm just pointing out the fact that there literally is no momentum at this point and that's their biggest show. Like, and I'm not saying they're doing bad. They're not doing bad. I'm not saying they're doing bad things.
Right.
There's just no buzz. Any buzz they had has evaporated with everything that happened at SummerSlam.
I will give you that. There's a lot of talk around SummerSlam, but also, and I guess because I have been around it. Side note, I have been doing press for AEW, but I've seen close up. AEW is doing a lot of good things too. I like what they have going on. The residency here in Arlington has actually been a good thing for them. They've been able to build some people up. You're starting to see more of those people on television, and it's starting to translate because they do well here. But WWE, for what they were able to do with SummerSlam, what up, Sam? with SummerSlam and the follow-up that they had with Raw last night. And I'm hearing NXT. I have to go back and watch it. NXT was a great show. They're starting to go on the road. And then SmackDown is the show that has everybody talking, and that's also a must-see. So yeah, a lot of talk around WWE and what they're putting out right now. But let's jump into SummerSlam and let's talk about some of the key points. Let's start with one that I really wanted to talk about, because this was a story that had a lot of people talking about it. I actually liked the story. It was a great story coming into the pay-per-view, and they not really capped it off, but they took a direction that I knew they were going in, but I actually still liked it anyway. And that's Rhea Ripley versus Liv Morgan. When she came back, it was all about Dom. We had another custody battle for Dom, but Liv walked out the winner. What did you think about that match?
Well, I mean, I didn't really pay attention that much to the match per se. I paid attention to the finish because everybody remembers the finish. So, I mean, look, I was not a fan of this angle. I'm just not a fan of Liv Morgan. I'm not. But I will say this, that what they pulled off at SummerSlam was incredible. It shows just they needed something to get Liv Morgan over more as a heel. And why not put her with the biggest heat magnet in the WWE, which is Dominic Mysterio? Yes. So that was a good move. And what it did was it also solidified Rhea Ripley is now a babyface. She is now going to, once again, have to kind of, she's going to have to get back at Dominic, get back at Liv Morgan.
Right.
And I like the way he did it. Dominic with the shit-eating grin at the end, what he did, and then, slapping her down slapping Liv Morgan down, walking back up the ramps, the entranceway, and flipping the crowd off. I'm like, man, if this is anything of what we're going to see when they go to Netflix, it's going to be a crazy time. But I thought the angle was well done. And it's kind of, I mean, I know you're supposed to, suspend your disbelief when watching, professional wrestling. But it is kind of like, okay, you got a Liv Morgan who's tiny as shit, right? Against this monster who's Rhea Ripley. So that sometimes that kind of takes me out of it a little bit. Right. But nonetheless, just for the angle they pulled off there, if I have to give this, on a 1 to 10, I'll give it, just for the angle and the response it got, I'll give it an 8, just off of that.
Ooh,
because
that's high.
I thought it was well done. I thought it was well done leading into what else happened at SummerSlam, leading into what happened on Raw. It was well done.
Yeah.
That whole thing there, that whole package there, I give that whole thing an 8 for what they did. They had to tell the story. They had to tell the story of Rhea Ripley not even being there. Dominic Mysterio, Dominic and Liv Morgan had to hold this thing down and had to do it on their own, because Rhea was injured, but then Rhea got married. So they had to hold down the fort pretty much. So I think with everything they had, they pulled it down. So I give it an 8, man.
Well done. I like that. For me, I'm gonna give it an 8 as well. This had some real Latino heat to it. You know what I mean? It had that vibe.
That's what I was getting at a little bit, because I remember they had that story with Eddie Guerrero in China way back in the day.
Yeah.
And you remember when Eddie, turned on China, I was there. It was at the pond. It was the night that Rikishi said he did it for The Rock. Okay. I think Eddie had cheated on China or some shit. And so she was sitting on the stairs, whatever. So it was kind of basically a repeat, because basically Dominic is cosplaying as Eddie Guerrero at this point. It's obvious.
Pretty
that's
much,
what he's doing. Yeah. That's what he's doing, So it's just funny because Rey Mysterio's comments after it happened, and Rey is, he's in on it too. It's great. He says that he's like, Dominic is the type of guy, he turns on everyone who loves him. And that's pretty much like one of those things.
He did say that, and that was good.
Yeah.
That was good. Yes.
So I like the fact that he can sell this, and just if you look at Dominic when Dominic first got to WWE and where he is now, that is unbelievable.
Worlds of difference. Worlds of difference.
Unbelievable transformation.
Yep.
You know,
It is a
so
world of difference.
I'm happy for
I
the
saw
guy.
it though. I was like, this dude has something. And I saw it then. I was like, he has something. He just needs to tap into it. And I think he's tapping into that shit. And
He's tapped into he's tapped into the heat. He's like
right.
he's pretty much he is pretty much a variant of Eddie and his father.
Yep.
Meshed into one. That's what he is. You know what I'm saying? And he's been able to pull this off. You know, a lot of people probably doubted that he could do it. I even doubted that at one point he could do it. But just the amount of heat this guy can draw.
Yeah.
He's just unlikable. It's just one of those things where Dominic Mysterio, until I see something different, he's always going to be a heel because he's just not.
I think so too.
He's just not a likable person. I mean, he's a cool dude off out of character. You know, he's cool as shit. But on TV as Dominic Mysterio, the character, there's no redeeming qualities. He's a male whore. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, and he's just a slimy. He's everything you'd want a heel to be.
Yep.
And it's like now Liv Morgan's made this turn to, I think he fits into the Judgment Day. I think the new Judgment Day faction is going to be something to reckon with. I actually like what they did here. I was not the biggest fan of Judgment Day, but right. I like what they did here. Now it's Finn taking control of the faction, much like the Bullet Club when he had that back in the day. Took control of the faction now, and I'm going to enjoy seeing where this goes. I'm really intrigued by this.
I like that, but let's table that for a minute because it's going to come back when we start talking about Raw. But let's go into Damian Priest and Gunther and what happened there to lead us into I think this was the night the old Judgment Day died and the new Judgment Day was born. Is what I'm calling SummerSlam.
They've been brewing this feud for a while. It's been
Yes.
With Finn Balor and Damian Priest. You kind of had something. And that backstage, after the whole thing happened with Dominic, and Damian Priest goes back there. He's looking. Where is he at? Like, where is he? Did you guys know anything about this? That was just great. It's just, and Damian Priest, man, you talk about a transformation of a guy, from the Archer of Infamy to where he is now. Just, and Damian Priest has something that a lot of people don't have. He has a certain command presence about himself. He has an aura about him. He can go out there and cut a promo. He can talk. He can deliver, and it's very believable what he's saying. And this is what I'm watching him here. I'm not really too worried about the wrestling part. It's what's going to sell you. It's going to be the story. It's going to be the promo that's going to get you to invest in the story. And he's able to do that. And that segment that they did, well, we ain't there yet. I will say this. Saying it for what it is, I do think that his title run was not the best. It was some stuff that went on there. Yeah, he had some botches in some of the matches there that kind of hurt. It wasn't the best. But I will say, I think his title run told better stories than that of his.
I would agree.
Than that of Cody Rhodes.
I would agree.
I think because they gave you something when it came to Damian Priest, they gave you something new. When it came to Cody, it went back to something old.
Right.
Which we've already been there before. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's kind of where I'm at there. But I mean, Gunther deserves it. I'm kind of curious, how long is Gunther going to hold the championship? Can they keep this thing going until WrestleMania or beyond it? Are we going to see a repeat here of the Roman Reigns title run with Gunther? Because he could fucking pull it off.
Bro, if they give him a long title run like that, this guy might be goated. For real. And I like the follow-up. We'll get to Raw, but I like the follow-up afterwards. I've actually, since Royal Rumble, I was like, man, if this dude don't hold the belt by the end of the year, something is seriously wrong. Because at Royal Rumble, he was talking that shit. And I said, Yeah, that's the guy. That's the guy you want. And I like where they're starting him afterwards too. I love where they're starting him, but I love that he actually is holding it. I don't think of Priest as a transitional champion because I actually like this title run. I like the stories that came out of his title run. I like where he is after the title run, and I think he can go back. I honestly think he could.
I honestly don't think Priest needs the belt. Damian
He
Priest is one of those
doesn't.
wrestlers that doesn't need a title. Jake the Snake Roberts didn't need a championship.
I agree.
Scott Hall didn't need a championship. He just got one. He got the IC, but he was never the world champion. But he didn't
Right.
never need it because he
Right.
had charisma and mic skills that was going to get him by. And that's what I'm saying with Damian Priest.
I agree with that. He walking into that match, I was like, God, this dude has an aura. Like he has it.
No, he does.
He's got it.
He has finally arrived.
Yep.
Is what has happened here, and he arrived by dropping the World Heavyweight Championship. That to me solidified him, and the finish of the betrayal that you knew was
Right.
coming because of how Finn Balor looked behind how he looked in the back when that whole thing was done. You kind of knew, okay, there is something about to happen here because of that little interaction or that little thing. When he says, go get him, champ. Like the way he said that, you kind of knew what was happening. It's no different than Star Wars when, Obi-Wan and Anakin have their last meeting and Anakin says, hey, may the force be with you. And Obi-Wan says, goodbye, old friend. Same kind of shit.
Yep.
You already knew it's about to go down, right?
Like,
so
hey, wait a minute.
So once again, so with this here, I'm going to go just because of the worker that's involved here, and I like the finish of the match. I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10.
Yeah,
I thought it was a good damn match. Good match, good, and told a good story.
I'm gonna give that one. I'm gonna give it an 8.5. What stops this from being a 9 for me? There was a spot in that match, and I saw it when it happened. I was like, oh, I saw it coming. Here it is. Like you kind of spoiled it for me. Is when he hit Gunther with the South of Heaven, and then he rolled him, and I was like, "Why are you rolling him towards the ropes?"
To the ropes.
Yeah. I was like, "Oh man!" I like it was like at that point, it's like I know what's coming. Finn's gonna grab his leg.
But they could have they could have played it too. Like maybe Gunther would have got his foot on the rope. So I mean, that's one of those things. I mean, the obvious thing would have been like how to do it, and see, they did something in this match that I've never seen before ever in wrestling. This shit happened, and there was an instant fucking replay of it right there where Priest saw it happen. So Priest wasn't the dumb. He wasn't the dumb baby face.
He couldn't play it
like
off
what the hell happened. He looked at the screen and saw it. And then that evil look from Devitt when he turned. I call him Devitt. When Balor turned around and it's like, yeah,
I did that shit. Yep.
So that's why I'm giving it a 9 right there too, because of how the story played out. Because the dude looked at the damn screen and saw it.
Yep.
They've never done it. You have to.
I like
what
that.
happened?
What happened? I like that. I like that.
Yeah. So I thought. I mean, that's just good shit, man.
This whole night was filled with good shit. It was filled with good shit. But let's talk CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre with Seth Rollins as the guest referee. And this match, I was actually surprised by this match. Like, I figured Seth was going to be the one to stab CM Punk in the back. It had it written all over it going into the match.
So let me tell you, first of all, these three guys here have great chemistry together.
Awesome
on what they're doing.
Yep.
You can tell they're back there plotting and planning this shit. And like, let's go out there and just do better than everybody else. You can tell that that's what they got going on. And the fact that the stuff just leading up to this match, just leading up to just CM Punk getting hurt. Originally was supposed to wrestle Seth at Mania. That didn't happen.
Yep.
Seth Rollins got put in a bigger story. But Drew McIntyre carrying this thing. Drew McIntyre, another one, complete 180 from what he was into what he is now. Fucking just a beast, sinister heel is what
savage,
he is.
bro.
Savage
that dude
heel.
is a savage.
I mean, the dude took a picture just to get everybody talking. He took a picture with Jack Perry.
Bro, savage. The shit he's been doing is top tier. Top tier trolling, bro. Like,
yes.
It is all time troll. Because that picture with Jack Perry hit, and I was like, bro, what the fuck?
So I'm kind of, I think that part was excellent, and then adding Seth into the situation makes perfect sense.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said before, you have Drew kind of coming out there, kind of dressed up like Taker a little bit from '97 SummerSlam. You got Punk out there wearing the Bret Hart tights.
Yep.
Okay. And you got Seth out there kind of doing the Shawn Michaels kind of thing with his attire as a referee.
Yep.
They put this, they straight went in for a SummerSlam Heart and Soul. That's exactly what they were doing. That was straight homage to that. Even with the chair, quote unquote, the chair shot that Seth Rollins almost did on. That's all from that match. Everything. And for people out there that said CM Punk won't do business, CM Punk did business. His first match back on pay-per-view, first singles match on TV, he put over Drew McIntyre. Put him over.
Yep.
Okay. He gave, and it was more, and to me, it was more important for McIntyre to get that win because of everything that's happened with McIntyre. McIntyre lost the World Championship because of Punk. He lost the rematch because of Punk. It made perfect sense. This story here, everything here made sense.
It did.
The booking made sense that you would have to do, because usually they do 50-50 shit. This right here made sense with this story here. And then the whole interaction between him and Seth Rollins, he says, everything is not about you, asshole, is what he told Punk.
Yeah.
And then got him up for the GTS. And then Punk got hit in the nuts. And, you got the Claymore. And 1, 2, 3. And Seth Rollins like, damn, I didn't even want to do that because he don't like either one of them.
Right.
So that's the funny
look
part
on
about
his face doing it was enough.
Yeah.
I was like, yes. He's like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to count. I don't even want to count, but here.
Yeah.
Regardless of it here.
So I'm glad that whatever personal issues that they may have had between each other, CM Punk, Seth Rollins, whatever, I'm glad they've got that shit out their system because obviously they're working together hard on this situation here, putting this thing together along with Drew McIntyre. And everybody says, Punk is a joy backstage to be around. He's helping and whatever. And he actually wants to restructure his contract to stay longer in the WWE, but, transition from wrestling to working behind the scenes and doing stuff.
He's doing all the right things.
Yeah, doing down in NXT. And I bring that up because of this. Now, I was gonna put this, in the group or whatever, when the story came out about MJF and Britt Baker, I was gonna be like, oh, we all know whose fault this is. The fucking guy who ain't even there, right? He was the guy. It was all peace and harmony over there, but he ain't there. So
apparently that happened months ago.
Yeah. So. But it's just funny though, because he's not there. Is my point.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, no, actually, it didn't happen months ago. It just recently happened. It was because it was a Will Ospreay and MJF match that she was talking shit about. That's what she was burying. Yeah, she was burying that for some reason. I don't know why, but she went in.
Oh, the hour long. Yeah, that was recent.
Yeah. She went in on that. Yeah. So I don't know, but we're talking about the WWE right now. So, with this situation here, with this, I'm gonna have to give this one also. I'm gonna have to give it an 8. I thought for what it was, I think that they delivered. because it furthers the story. This is going to be the first of many matches between Punk. Punk is not going to stop until he gets that damn bracelet back. That bracelet means more to him than any championship. He's not
That
gonna stop
added
until he gets it.
wrinkle was a lot. Something
Yeah.
so small was a lot.
Yeah,
For
it's a
me, I
sentimental
gotta
thing.
yeah, I gotta give it a 9 because there was a lot in this match that I didn't expect. Even though I knew it was gonna be a good match, it was a lot. They brought a lot out that I didn't expect. The bracelet being one, and Punk's ego going against him being the other.
Oh, right. And that's the thing. That's the thing. Actually, you know what? I take that back. I'm gonna jump to a 9. And I'm gonna tell you why I
Yeah,
forgot about that.
yeah, that was
That part of the story of Punk
yeah,
losing his shit and
yeah.
he cost himself that match.
Yes, he did. Yes,
So
he did.
once again, storytelling. Yeah, I'm gonna jump into a 9. I forgot that little aspect there of thinking about because I'm trying to remember everything. You'll see every day, so
Yeah,
trying to remember all the highlights of it, and it's just that just everything we've seen, and it just proved right there too. This guy can still go in the
yeah,
fucking ring.
yes,
He can still pull it off, And I'm like I said before, I just love the little nuggets of nostalgia that they put into this. Like I don't know who thought of this. It might have been Punk, most likely. Punk, Seth. Like let's do Heart and Soul SummerSlam. Let's
right,
do
right.
let's map our match out kind of like that because that's exactly what they did.
Yes,
Even Rollins walking away, he walked away like Shine did after Bret Hart.
Yep.
Bret Hart was the original Hawk to it. I mean, he fucking spit right in Shawn Michaels' face, made the count, and then left the ring pissed off. That's how Rollins was after he made that count. He walked away, ripped the shirt off, and was pissed off going to the back. That's exactly what happened at Heart and Soul 97 SummerSlam. So, I mean, just nostalgia off the chain here. Like, this right here, bro, is one of the best SummerSlams I've ever seen. Like,
a lot of people are calling this the best SummerSlam ever.
I will say
it's a hard argument.
I would say for the new era. Okay, I'm gonna put it to you like this. Okay, when it comes, I'll map it this way. In terms of WWE SummerSlams, yes, it's the best one they've ever done. I said WWE, not WWF, right? But WWE, yeah, WWE. This is the best one they've done. Absolutely, yes.
Yep.
It's the biggest one they've done too, outside of Wembley Stadium '92. But
you are correct. You are correct.
But
that backdrop looked amazing too.
Yeah,
can't leave that out. That stadium look added a lot to that show as well.
Oh hell yeah! I love these outdoor stadium shows. They just really look good on TV.
They
really
do
look good because WCW used to do a lot of outdoor venue shows, and it just came across great on television. Especially when they would do like Sturgis and when they did Huntington Beach for Bashford Beach that one year. It just really looks good. I've always liked the dome stadium shows, so I'm glad they do that, and I'm glad that they don't have the big ass gigantic sets anymore. They keep it nice and simple, kind of like the old days, but they got just the screens up there. I like it, man. Just like I said, man, the presentation is off the chain.
Yeah, I agree with that. So there's a lot to talk about with SummerSlam. Obviously, Nia winning. That was a good match. There's a lot coming out of that. So we got to tune in to SmackDown for that.
I want to say real quick though about Nia Jax. You talk about someone who has got into shape.
Like, transformation, bro.
Transformation. She's gonna have to not use that bonsai drop anymore because she don't have the weight to pull it off. Yeah, you got to have something on you. You got to be Yokozuna bonsai. You're gonna drop it. Rikishi and that shit. Putting them cheeks out there, but she ain't gonna be able to do it. She got to try probably change it. I would like. I honestly, I'd like to see Nia Jax incorporate maybe a choke slam as a finish.
I
think it'd be something simple.
I like that.
I think it'd be something simple. Yeah,
I like that. But let's get to the meat and potatoes. Why SummerSlam ended on an excellent note. That is the match itself. The match.
Well, 1 second.
Go ahead.
Hold on 1 second. Well, I got 2 more things here, real quick. Give them that just due. So, Sami Zayn's Intercontinental Championship reign came to an end.
Yes.
Braun Breaker who has been destroying motherfuckers.
He earned that shit.
He earned it. He earned it. And the Steiner brothers were there watching it, which I thought was cool. Matter of fact, they had a bunch of WWE legends up there. Kevin Nash was there. X-Pac
was up there.
DDP was up there. Yeah. So that was cool, man. Cool to see Nash out there doing some shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So just what he's been able to accomplish coming in from playing football and then coming into wrestling, coming into NXT, everything he did down there, then coming to the main roster and completely turning it around.
Right.
And just becoming this indestructible. I mean, I it's obvious to me. This guy is destined to be the world champion. All right. He is definitely gonna follow in his footsteps of his father and his uncle Scott. He's gonna surpass both of them. Is what's gonna happen. And I was watching the Steiner Brothers documentary on biography, or their biography on A&E, and Scott mentioned this. He said, he says Braun is gonna surpass me and my brother. Yeah, and he has no problem with that. That's the reason why he said he came back to WWE to do the Hall of Fame wasn't angry anymore. He blamed a lot. Honestly, Scott said he blamed a lot of that shit on himself because he wasn't healthy when he came to WWE. He wasn't healthy. He had the drop foot situation that he had happened in WCW. So he was happy. He said, well, he goes up there for the Hall of Fame and he says, people are like, oh, you're giving Scott Steiner a live mic. What's happy? He's like, nothing's going to happen. He's like, I'm not going to mess this up for Braun. You know? So out there and do my shit. So saying all that.
Shit. Yeah.
Yeah, saying all that. Those guys went out there, had a hell of a match. And did you know that this was Sami Zayn's first SummerSlam ever?
Yep. He mentioned it in the interview. Yeah. There was Nia Jax. This was her first SummerSlam ever too.
Yeah, which is crazy.
Yeah.
You know, which is crazy to me. But I think it needs to happen. Now it's time for Bayley to chase. Is what needs to happen. Now Bayley's got the chase.
I like that. And I think this was a good time to do it. I think this was a good time to do it for her too.
Yeah, because what you do is when you have the championship belt for so long, you tend to start getting stale.
Right.
So you got to change it up. It's more money. Obviously, wrestling 101, it's more money in the babyface chasing the heel.
Yep.
Is how you make money. So I like what I saw there. So I'm happy on both matches. So for Braun winning the championship belt, the Intercontinental Championship, I'm gonna give that a 7. I thought it was good for what it was. And for Nia Jax becoming the women's champion, I'm gonna give that an 8. I think that she deserves that.
Yeah.
I think she's worked hard to get herself in better shape. She's worked hard to try to get her craft down, but Bayley did her thing. You know, Bayley carried that match there. Bayley told that story. So I thought it was good for what it was. LA Knight, Logan Paul. LA Knight puts an end to Logan Paul's United States Championship run, which I think
reign of terror.
Yeah, the reign of terror. I think that's excellent there. So for that match there, just for the mere fact of him ending that championship run, I'm going to give that also a 7 because now you can have somebody out there that LA Knight needed. LA Knight needed it. If he didn't get it, that would have killed him dead in the water. It would have been done.
Yep, I agree.
So he'll be the guy. He'll be just known as the guy who can't win a big one.
I agree with that. I definitely agree with that.
Now you get to the meat and potatoes.
All right, meat and potato time. There was a lot of anticipation, a lot of predictions going on, and for me, there was only one thing that needed to happen. The match itself between Solo and Cody, it was just like, because SummerSlam on paper, and this is what I tried to explain to someone, SummerSlam on paper is a good card, but they had a lot of shit hidden on this card. Meaning there was so many possibilities of things that can happen. There was so many ways you can go with pretty much every match on the card, and it would make sense. That being said, the match between Cody and Solo, it was good. I thought the match itself could have been better because I didn't really like where they were going with the WrestleMania callback, right? I was like, if you're gonna do that, you've already done that on a grander scale. it probably won't work as much here unless you bring out a big gun, right? And they brought out a big gun. Roman Reigns, the what I want to say, the noise level when the drums hit for him to walk out, crazy. As soon as those drums hit, Roman Reigns was a babyface. As soon as the crowd heard it, as soon as they knew it was him, and once he walked out, there was only one way we knew this was going. He had to hit Solo. And boy, the cinema in that shit, I think that was about 2.5 minutes of cinema. From him walking out to him hitting Solo to him staring at Cody. Like the possibilities, but in those 2 minutes from where we're going to be on Friday is insane because you know something's coming out of it. Yeah, Cody won the match. He beat a member of the bloodline, but is that person supported by Roman? And what is Roman going to do for him? Because remember, here's a callback for you. When Roman lost at WrestleMania, what did Solo say to the rest of the bloodline? Losing has consequences. And then he kicked Jimmy out of the bloodline. Roman came back. He lost to Cody. Solo did. Does losing still have consequences? Or are you going to bitch out? Like, there's so much shit coming out of here that it's Friday is going to be a movie, man. It's going to be a movie.
So I get what you're saying with that, but those rules don't apply to Solo. He's going to make that very known.
That's where I'm getting at.
Yeah, that does not apply to him. There's no way that the God and Jacob Fatu at this point are now going to turn on Solo. No, they're in it with Solo because Roman. We basically know at this point these are the quote unquote bad guys. These are the heels. Okay. Roman obviously is a babyface. He came out to the WrestleMania 40 theme music at SummerSlam the other day.
Yep.
So he is a babyface at this point. And is a babyface in the internal roster moving forward. He's a babyface. Right. So it's now time for the band to get back together. It's now time for the Usos to join back up with Roman. It's time for Sammy Uso Zayn to join back up with Roman. Okay.
Yep.
You also now can put Cody into this equation as well. And what I'm getting at here is this. So we got an event coming up in November. It's called Survivor Series War Games.
Yep.
So we're going to have Civil War. It's a bloodline versus the bloodline. But this is different. It's the bloodline of Solo, God, Jacob, Hikuleo versus Roman, Usos, Sami Zayn, Cody Rhodes. And if I am booking this shit, if I can bring back somebody who is going to turn this shit up, the mastermind of the whole damn thing, who gave Solo the balls, who gave Solo the direction to do what you do, the final boss, The Rock. That's what I predict for Survivor Series all the way in November. The Rock returns. And you know why? Because we're getting close to the Rumble.
Yep.
We're getting close to WrestleMania season. So, that brings back The Rock. And what did The Rock tell Cody Rhodes the last time you saw him on Raw? He says, your story with Roman Reigns is over. Our story is just beginning, is what he told him. So, we're going to see what happens here. But I have a prediction. The Rock's coming back, and it's going to come out. The Rock is a mastermind behind all of this shit. It's all The Rock.
I I would agree
You
with
stacked the deck in the favor of Roman Reigns for WrestleMania, Bloodline rules, and you couldn't get the job done. So I said, Solo, I am the final boss. I usurp the tribal chief. You're the tribal chief. Go out there and do your thing. That's what's going to end up. That's the story they're going to tell. And now people listening to podcasts and they're like, Hikuleo, what? Hikuleo's coming, people.
Hikuleo is coming.
He's coming.
Oh, look at this. So we got a comment. So Warren McDonald says he didn't like the idea of Sami Zayn being back in the Bloodline. Moved Rock to Solo's team. Put Hikuleo with Roman.
That ain't gonna work because you already have the establishment there of the that's their brother. The God is, Hikuleo is their brother. So that's where the connection comes into play there. But you bring Sami Zayn back in there because it's familiarity. Sami has been a part of the Bloodline before. So this is basically the story that's being told here is you're bringing back people into the fold that Roman did dirty shit to. He turned on him. But now you have to bring them back together to do this. It's no different than
he has to realize the error of his ways.
You got to trust him. I mean, they did this years ago. History lesson, people. WCW Fall Brawl 95 War Games. The Dungeon of Doom versus the Hulkamaniacs. What does that entail? Hogan had issues with everybody on his fucking team. He had issues with Luger. He had issues with Sting. He had issues with Macho Man. They had a whole thing going on about who they could trust, who they couldn't trust, going into that pay-per-view. So it's the same thing here. Roman has to now go back to Jimmy. I'm sorry. Jay. I'm sorry. Sammy. I'm sorry. That's the story you got to tell here. Cody. We're not buddies. We're not friends. But we fighting the same enemy here. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of where we're going to go here.
I had a theory, and walk with me for a second. So the fact that he and Cody had that look at each other, it's almost as if Roman was looking at him like, I'll see you when I see you. Like, our business ain't finished either. Because you're kind of the cause of this, Cody. You beating me set this whole shit in motion. I had a handle on everything. That look was deeper than you got it. You can pin them.
I didn't get that sense from that. What I got from that was it was basically kind of an acknowledgement, is what it was. It was acknowledgement of like respect, is what it was.
Right.
That's what I get from that. Because if you want to put into, it wasn't Cody that messed everything up here. It was The Rock. Since The Rock came back and entered the story, that's what messed up. Because The Rock gained influence over Solo. That's the story that's going to be told here. It was The Rock, the final boss. When someone comes out there and says, I'm the final boss, your tribal chief shit doesn't mean nothing. Because what did The Rock say? I'm on the board. I'm your boss. I'm the final boss. You think somebody in the back, what is Triple H going to tell me? That's what The Rock said. So The Rock is the one who messed this whole thing up, not Cody. Like,
nah, you're right.
Roman doesn't need the strap. Roman has family business. He got other things.
This story trumps any championship now.
He don't give a shit about the title. That when he did that thing and kind of gave Cody that nod, that was acknowledgement. That's respect. Because he could have took him out right there.
He could have
took him out. He could have Superman punched him. He could have took him out.
Back.
Yeah. To SummerSlam 2020 when he came out there and took out Braun Strowman and The Fiend. So he could have done that. He didn't do that. He did his thing, got that big ass pop, stood there, looked over there, acknowledged him, dipped out. Was looking back at Cody with the belt, kind of like, but he got other shit playing right now.
He does.
Maybe they'll meet again one day, but we don't need to see it anytime soon.
No, we don't. We don't.
I don't even see that. I
Bring,
want to see something different.
You know
Bring
what
Gunther.
we want.
Bring Gunther over
Yeah.
if you want to do something. Let's have Gunther and Roman or something. I want to see something different. I don't need to go back to this at this point.
Give me what I want.
Yeah, exactly. So you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but I also agree with you that I did not like the aspect of having bloodline rules again because we just saw that.
Right.
And I wanted to see it just be a straight up fight.
Right.
But at the same time, Solo has limitations where he may not be able to carry that type of main event match yet. So bloodline rules actually protects him. And also, you got a problem there. You got a problem. We were talking about this offline. You got a problem when Jacob Fatu comes out there and basically overshadows the supposed quote unquote leader of the bloodline.
Yeah.
I mean, Jacob Fatu is out there just wrecking shit.
Bro.
Doing splashes.
Jacob Fatu is that guy.
He is just like crazy, bro. Like I've never seen nobody like Jacob Fatu before.
No.
He just has it.
Yep. And comment real quick. Warren says you're mentioning brothers. Solo is brothers with Jay and Jimmy, but you're putting them on opposite teams. Yeah, but there's a story attached to that. The story is Solo was the chosen one from the get-go. And all Solo is doing is simply taking what's his in this storyline. If you're following the story, he was handpicked by Roman as the prince of the bloodline. And what he saw with Roman losing was him not being the head of the table anymore. So he took his place.
But in saying that, listen, we're like Blak saying, we're just following the story here because the deal is this. The Usos came out there and says, I don't want to be a tribal chief. You damn sure don't want to be a tribal chief. But we see Solo in there. He want to be the tribal chief. And on top of that, remember, Solo put himself on the opposite side when he turned on Jimmy after WrestleMania. Solo did that on his own. So now at this point, there is no coming back from that.
Right.
Because Solo has always been, they're brothers, but Solo has always been kind of the loner. He was Roman's enforcer. Pretty much. Yeah, we're brothers. But the guy took out, how many times did we see Jay go out there and get his ass whooped by Solo? Get his ass whooped by Jimmy. You know what I'm saying? Yep. So now Solo has surpassed him because he is now the tribal chief. And that's the story you're being told here. This is a bloodline here. Like, bruh came out on SmackDown talking about Solo, right?
Mm-hmm.
I could swear the dude thought he was like Nino Brown or somebody, the way he was dressed. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Come out there with that damn that coat on.
With the gloves.
It's like it's like they're kind of like almost like a mafia or some shit, you know, like I've said this before. It's kind of like Death Row Records. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of what it looks like here.
Absolutely.
So I mean, it makes perfect sense that Solo is going to be like, the hell with Roman, the hell with my brothers. I'm doing this over here, and I got the Tongans backing me up, and I got Jacob backing me up. You know, Roman's going to have to be, and it also goes down to this. It goes back to nostalgia. It goes back to giving the fans what they want. What do fans remember? They remember that the bloodline was Usos, Sami Zayn, Solo, the Wise Man, Roman Reigns. Yep. That was the bloodline. That's what they was. He was the honorary Us. Yep. So they still keep that connection, keep that relationship with Jay and Sami for a reason. Because this is all leading to them getting the band back together again. It's going to have to be, they're going to have to trust Roman. Roman's going to have to trust them. Because they're because the bottom line of the deal is there has to be some kind of rehabilitation here for Jimmy because Jimmy got botched. His whole push was just, it was crap. Like Jay is on a whole nother different plane right now with the Yeet and all that shit. Right. Jimmy's was just, I don't, that turn was just bad. Like that whole thing just didn't make any damn sense. So now they have a chance to turn that around and rectify that situation. How you rectify that? You get him back with his brother. You give us the match we want. God Usos. That's what you give us.
Yes. And it will hit. It will hit
Absolutely.
hard.
Absolutely.
So yeah. But yeah, that was a great ending to SummerSlam. Overall, I'm gonna give that one a 9. Just off the aftermatch activity. It would be a 10 if that match was better in my eyes, but I'm still gonna give it a 9.
Yeah, I'll go with you on the 9. Roman saved it.
Yeah, he did. He
Roman saved
definitely
it.
did.
Jacob Fatu's interference was great. But Roman saved it at the end, just
Yes.
because nobody was expecting it. I think
Right.
people thought it might happen, but nobody knew how it was going to happen. So
Exactly.
all in
Exactly.
all, dude, for SummerSlam 2024, like I said earlier, it's probably the best SummerSlam the WWE has ever produced.
I agree
Not
with that.
WWE, not the WWF, the
I
WWE,
agree with that. I would agree with that. But yeah,
because it told stories. It told so many stories, and it was angle heavy, and those angles are now going to play out over TV for the next couple of months. So I mean, it did its job.
it did. But in the immediate aftermath, watching SummerSlam, I had to watch Monday Night Raw. I had to, because you had so much stuff coming out of it that was so good on SummerSlam night that Monday Night Raw became a must-see show. And let me tell you something right off the bat. Baltimore is a fucking great crowd. That crowd was amazing, first and foremost. Second, this may have been the best Raw of this year. It's the
Well,
best Raw I've seen. It's the best Raw I've seen in a while, in a long time.
yeah.
And
Well, it would be
that's saying
better.
something.
It would be better if the WWE would turn down the Thunderdome. I mean, damn.
You know what? You know
Oh,
what?
it was
I
clear as
noticed it.
day.
I
Yeah,
noticed it in spots, but there were some spots they didn't need that shit.
I noticed it heavily when doing the Damian Priest promo.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was big time, and I'm like, why do you have to do this shit?
You
Like,
don't. You
just
didn't
let the
have to.
fans react naturally. They're
Because
behind that, bro.
they were in it. They were
Yeah.
in that shit.
So other than that, just that's one of the things when it comes to WWE production. I don't like. I do not like the Thunderdome.
Yeah,
Never have.
you didn't
Never will.
you for this show, you didn't need it because
Yeah.
they gave you what they gave you Monday was amazing. First and foremost, we got Gunther coming out looking like an absolute champion. The look he came out with made it that title that he just earned relevant on him. And him saying, if you liked what I thought, if you liked what I did with the Intercontinental Championship, just wait. Wait till you see what I'm about to do with this shit. And I'm like, all right, let's go. Let's do it. Let me see what you got. And then out comes Randy Orton, who no one's expecting. So it looks like we're going to get Randy Orton versus Gunther at Bash in Berlin, which I like that move. It's a credible guy. The reason I like this is because they're not. They told the story. Randy was like, "You beat me to get here, but did you really beat me?" Everybody knows my shoulders weren't down, but the referee's decision was final. Excellent move to call that out and be like, "Now I want my shot. Now I want a second crack at it. Let's do it in
Well,
Berlin."
what did Finn Balor do earlier in the night? He brought up, I was about to be champion too, and he brought a callback that he showed that picture.
They
So
were doing work Monday. They
yeah,
did work Monday.
that's
But
what we get
yeah,
to make it make sense. They were
yes.
making it make sense.
Yes, they made it make sense. Everything on Raw made sense. If it was on television, it made sense. Even the build up to the main event made sense because of they mentioned, oh yeah, by the way, 11 years ago to the day, the original Wyatt family debuted in that arena. And that was just like, damn, bro, like, all right, bring me the main event. All they have to do is not suck. And I'm okay with it. But the things that they did in this show, the Rhea coming out to save Damian Priest. That was good. The Bronson Reed. Let's talk about Bronson Reed for a second. And they even set this up. So Bronson Reed walks out and he goes up to Adam Pearce and he's like, bro, I'm not getting opportunity here. So I'm gonna have to just go take that shit. Like, but the way he said it was like, all right. And I kind of brushed it off in the moment. Like, yeah, it's Bronson Reed, bro. Like, seriously, what are we doing? What do we do? It's Bronson Reed. But then in one of the biggest angles of the night, first of all, that segment was good. The CM Punk segment with him and Seth, and it looked like they're about to square up and go at it, and then out walks Drew. And by the way, great cosplaying as Adam Hangman Page, Seth Rollins.
Yes. Like I said, dude. Like I said, you know damn well they're back there putting this shit on. Because that's exactly, and Punk called it out.
He called him a cowboy.
Yeah. So I'm like, dude, Seth.
They cooking with grease, bro.
Yeah. Seth, Punk, Drew, the ultimate trollers. It's what it was. And that was great. That was good shit.
It was good shit.
What I love about that thing, there was a little something that happened before. So when Punk was doing that promo and then Seth's music hit, I think he said, "Oh God damn!" He was like, son of a bitch. Like,
yeah.
So it's just what's gonna end up happening. I predict this. What'll end up happening is when they finally have a match, Punk and Seth Rollins, at the end of the match, they're gonna shake hands. Is what's gonna happen.
I believe so.
That's what's gonna happen, because they're right now it's the animosity. I don't like you. You don't need your. It's gonna be a mutual respect. Is what's gonna end up happening when it's all said and done. Yep. That's where it's gonna go. Guarantee it. Because
I believe that.
Punk, because they're gonna make the story that if you go back through time when they first developed NXT, Punk was down there mentoring Seth Rollins. He was helping Rollins. Yep. So we can go back to that. And the thing I've always kind of found funny about this situation is that, listen, Rollins wasn't involved in any of that shit that happened with CM Punk. That had nothing to do with him. You know what I'm saying? Like, all that stuff. So it's like, okay, I get that. But you can take it personally if you want. You break it. Yeah, exactly. So, but just the story that they tell here and the trolling. And then it's like, my God. I'm kind of wondering now, really, what if there is a relationship, what the relationship is between Jack Perry and CM Punk. I wonder if they squash that, because why would Drew McIntyre take a picture
with him? Yeah,
right. So I'm kind of wondering, like, did they kind of resolve that shit a little bit, or because Punk just seems like he's on a whole different kind of thing now.
He's on a different wavelength. Yeah.
So I'm kind of wondering, was that smoothed over or something? I'm kind of wondering, did that happen?
The fact that he took a picture with Drew would probably lead me to believe they probably squashed it.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think they did. I think ultimately that just seems like what Jack Perry didn't understand is CM Punk was actually looking out for him. Is what he was doing.
Right.
And I don't think he got that part at the time. And but shit, Jack Perry took it and ran with it. With the scapegoat situation.
He embraced
it. So I'm kind of like, and Drew McIntyre just to take a picture, like, let me take this, because Drew knew what he would do.
Bro.
Knew what he would do.
He was like that. And the stuff he was saying, he was like, it aged as badly as, hey, Colt Cabana, how you doing? Like,
yeah.
He was trolling the hell out of Punk, man.
Right.
And it worked.
Yeah, and Punk is all in on it, like all because Punk wants to make money. He wants to make sure our angles are the best. And how do you do that? You got to have people invest in the story, and I'm invested.
The fact that they had a stare off, like just daring each other to move, and Drew was like, hey, both of y'all, I'm trying to talk. Like the
Right.
way that he did it, like it was so good. He was like, I know what'll break you. he took the bracelet off and was like
Right.
that stupid dog, and
Yeah, you're
Punk
ugly,
was like,
stupid dog. Yeah.
Punk was like, oh, you motherfucker. And then he rolled out of the ring, and then as soon as he ran up, Bronson Reed pops out of nowhere and just
Right.
demolishes Seth Rollins.
Right. Right.
And that was so good. I actually marked out. I was like, do it again. Do it again.
Yeah, I'm like, bro, it's about damn time they give
Yes.
Bronson a damn push.
Yes. And then, like, when you thought he was done, he was like, fuck it, I'm gonna go back up there and do it again. I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, keep hitting him.
And what it does too, it gives furthermore, it gives Seth Rollins a new opponent.
Yep.
And keeps him away from Punk until the
Yep.
time is right. That's what it
Yep.
does.
Yep.
So genius move
Genius.
here. And
was
you're
genius.
building somebody else.
Yep.
Is what
It
you're
was
what you're
genius.
doing here. And the way he does it, basically, like I'm just going to go out there and get my opportunity. I'm going out there and take my opportunity. And you can build this over a couple of pay-per-views.
Yeah. He's like earlier in the night. All right, you don't want to give me opportunity, I'm gonna go take one. And I'll be damned.
So I'm gonna make a prediction. So I predict that we're gonna see the debut of Hikuleo at Bad Blood in October.
You think so?
Yes.
Okay.
I think that's going to be the first Solo versus Roman match. It's going to be Bad Blood. Makes perfect sense.
I would agree with that. And that all hinges on what happens Friday too.
Right. And then we're going into November, we're going into War Games. So that would be the perfect time to debut Hikuleo.
Okay. I'm on board with that. Just let it form. And I know I can now say that I have faith that they're gonna do the right thing. They're gonna build it the right way.
So, we don't need to have we don't need to have somebody joining every week. We don't need to have that.
Right.
You need to space these things out.
Right.
So
they spaced it out with Jacob, and Jacob was somebody.
Signed.
I think Bully Ray. Yeah, Bully Ray put up a picture on WrestleMania when he went to WrestleMania, and Jacob Fatu was in the picture. So he was signed as of WrestleMania, but didn't pop out until later. So
So that's what I'm getting at. Like, let it just the perfect time would be to bring him in, like build this feud up. The first match between the two, you got the Clash in or was it the Clash in Berlin? Is that what it is?
Bash in Berlin.
Bash in Berlin.
Yep.
Okay. You got Bash in Berlin coming up for September. We got October coming up. Bad Blood. Just like we got that coming up. Perfect tagline. Bad Blood. So you're probably gonna have the first Solo versus Roman match. You're gonna probably have match number 2 of Punk and Drew McIntyre, and you're most likely gonna continue the feud between Bronson Reed and Seth Rollins.
Yep.
Plus, you'll probably have the first Finn Balor versus Damian Priest.
Yep. By the way, I love where they're going with Damian Priest.
Yeah.
Love where they're going with him.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And then that's going to lead us into Netflix. And, bro, when they get to Netflix, I feel like this shit's about to turn on its head.
Yeah.
Because of what
it's going to turn around. And just wait till SmackDown comes to USA Network, too.
Right.
That's going to be it's going to be just a completely different program because they just can't do shit on Fox. Fox blocks out everything. You won't have to deal with it anymore.
Yeah, there's going to be some stuff.
Yeah.
That to look forward to. And the fact that on the last Raw they had the first hour was commercial free. And I said to myself, if this is a sign of things to come, it's very good for them because that first hour made the whole show flow faster. The fact that there were no commercials. And they threw a lot in it. If we get to a point to where all 3 hours are commercial free on Netflix, it's gonna be good. it's gonna be good stuff. Because I felt like Raw, as good as it was, and I attribute a lot of it to the first hour and what they were able to do. Raw was so good that it flew by.
Yes.
So if they're able to do that consistently over 3 hours, they're about to shut shit down in a major way.
Yeah, I agree. Like they're literally everything they're doing right now, all the sacrifices they've made, it's all paying off because
Right.
they're building, and it's like it's at a point now where there's just not one guy in WWE.
Right.
They have multiple guys. You know, for years it was just we only got Roman, or we only got Cody. There are multiple guys now.
Right.
Which says a lot about how far they've come. That we have multiple guys.
Yep.
So good shit.
Yep. Love it. I love it. And they're getting to a point where there's something for everybody on the show. And that's always a good thing. Like I watched Raw, and even Damage Control has some shit that made sense for them. Granted, you have to wait for it to cook a little bit, but what they did made sense. And I was just like, all right, if this is where they're going, I will follow them because they're doing good stuff. Absolutely good stuff. All right, man. Final thoughts. What you got?
What do I got? Well, it's going to be a very interesting day tomorrow. We have the Disney earnings call. So we're going to see where the Walt Disney Company is financially. I'm very interested in that situation. Deadpool Wolverine was a huge monster success for Disney and for Marvel, and they needed one.
Yep.
And I'm very, very interested to see what the results are going to be tomorrow. I don't believe Iger is going to address the Gina Carano lawsuit that is now moving into Discovery. So I don't think they're going to talk about that because it's a pending litigation. But I'm very interested to see where they're going to go with this. It's very intriguing. But other than that, it's hot as fuck. So
yeah. Absolutely,
it's hot as fuck. All right. So other than that, I ain't got nothing. Y'all already know the deal. You know, help control the pet population. You know, I actually saw some cocksucker walking their fucking dog today, and I'm looking at the camera, and it's 103, and they're out there walking the dog on the pavement. I'm like, you stupid bastard. I wanted to get up and go say something, right? But I was too busy watching A New Hope, so I was like, I can do it. So I just said, fuck it.
That poor dog.
Help your pets, help control the pet population. You have your pets spayed or neutered, and that's pretty much it. I got nothing else. We'll have more information when we come back and do the next podcast. And I want to send a special shout out to all our fans in Russia, because apparently, we were like one of the top wrestling podcasts in Russia. We still are. Yeah. I don't know how that happened. So I want to say hello to all the Russian fans out there of the No Gimmicks podcast. We appreciate all the love.
Thank you very much.
We appreciate all the love worldwide for everybody who enjoys our brand of talk and telling the truth in public, if you will.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mother Russia, for all of your support.
Right.
But since my hiatus, I took the liberty to start working on some things. One of them being the merch. We haven't had a merch drop in a long time, so expect some new merch soon. I would say right around the time that we get ready to do the game night for DFPN, which I will be hosting the next one. So I will be releasing some new merch, and if you participate in the game night for DFPN, you may have a chance to win that merch. I actually did No Gimmicks is also going to be having a new look while we are live. So I took the liberty to keep my mind occupied and focus my energies on the podcast. So we will be revamping a lot of stuff, and you will start seeing these changes roll out. And I just wanted to keep everybody informed on that. But new merch coming soon. Check thedfpn.com. This show did stream on thedfpn.com tonight. So, follow us and go to thedfpn.com, search in the podcast. Our podcast will pop up. Follow us there. The audio version as well as the video version of this podcast will go to that. And again, follow us on all the streaming channels. We are dropping there too still. But if you want to get in tune, being first in line, DDFPN is going to be the place where you want to go. All of our merch is going to be on there. We actually have the merch shop on the site now, to where you can click on the link. It'll take you right to the merch shop. So a one-stop shop for everything. But thank you guys for the support. Thank you for tuning in tonight. Thank you guys for the comments in the comment section. You guys were awesome tonight. So if you like what you hear, if you like interacting, please follow us. When we go live, you'll be here and we'll be here for your content. But till then, stay prepared. And if you got nothing else, Frankie D, I'm good.
I got nothing else except long live the Empire.
All right, you guys, thank you for tuning in to episode 75 of the No Gimmicks podcast here on the DFPN. Until then, you know what it is. Enjoy what you want to enjoy, and peace.
And I know it's all business, all business, all business. We give them no gimmicks. Yeah. And I know it's all business, all business, all business. We give them no gimmicks. Yeah. And I know it's all business, all business, all business. We give them no gimmicks, gimmicks.